students, and welcome to episode 5, all about restoration. When we restore, we take something that's broken and abused and we try to repair it and make it like an original, whether it's a piece of furniture or an old house or an ecological landscape. We will be looking at 3 different restorations. One very large, one a schoolyard, and we'll be looking at how you can restore some of the natural habitat in your own backyard. Well, we have a lot to do, so let's get started.
What was that?
If you build a native landscape using native plantains, then the natural community, including birds, mammals, insects, reptiles, amphibians, will come.
What the heck is he doing?
I have just created something totally illogical.
That's what I like about it.
You did good, Ray. No, I think it's totally logical, actually. It's beautiful.
It's kind of pretty, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
You know, it seems like a lot of work to restore a natural landscape. So I asked Dr. Potter why we should bother. And she gave me a very thoughtful and eloquent answer. Let's take a listen.
Why should we care about restoring native ecosystems? Does it really matter if Cedar Creek's oak savannas stay as oak savannas? As you'll find in science and a lot of other fields, there are many answers to a question like this. In my opinion, restoration is valuable in part because intact native ecosystems provide homes, food, water, and other ecosystem services to people as well as to the plants and animals that are found there. Over thousands of years, the biotic parts of an ecosystem like the oak savanna have evolved to work together and to work hand in hand with the abiotic dynamics in their area. For oak savannas, this means that specialist species like the red-headed woodpecker have adapted and evolved to rely on dragonflies, grasshoppers, and other insects that live in the grassy, prairie-like understory of the savanna, and to rely on the oak acorns that are produced by the oak trees, to deal with the dynamics of fire sweeping through their habitat on a regular basis, to have the right beak structure to hollow out nest cavities and the right vocalizations to carry across the patchy landscape. If we don't manage and restore oak savannas, or when we start to fragment them with roads and houses, red-headed woodpeckers can't survive. When you lose one species from a system, you often see cascading domino effects. Without red-headed woodpeckers present to make cavities in those trees, flying squirrels and other tree squirrels have nowhere to nest. Without squirrels gathering and storing acorns, the number of nuts that get buried, forgotten, and sprout in a given year changes as well, with impacts on how oak trees regrow, or if they regrow at all. When oak trees aren't providing shade and competing with grasses for light and nutrients, those highly flammable grasses take over, and fires burn so hot that they start to kill other plants and begin to threaten human homes and infrastructure. If humans then get worried and stop fires from burning, other species of trees begin to take over, and soon your savanna turns into a forest or a woodland and can no longer support specialist savanna species, birds, insects, mammals, reptiles, and other creatures that are evolved to be just in that particular type of a landscape. Of course, I'm exaggerating a little. The loss of a red-headed woodpecker doesn't necessarily mean the death of the oak savanna in all cases, although the loss of the oak savanna does mean the loss of red-headed woodpeckers, but you get the general picture. Native ecosystems, whether they're savannas, wetlands, forests, prairies, or something else, are complicated, interconnected products of generations of evolution and adaptation. These native ecosystems clean our water and our air. They support pollinators and the plants that feed us. They provide refuge for rare and threatened species, as well as more common ones. And they give us beautiful, peaceful places to recharge from the busy world and our busy lives. I think restoration is valuable because losing these delicately balanced places is bad for all of us. We've already done so much as humans to disrupt natural dynamics, both in our backyards and around the world. Restoration is a chance for us to do something good for the world.
Let's check out Gray Cloud Dunes Scientific and Natural Area on the computer to get a preview of what we might find when we go there. It's a great site. One of the things I really like about this site is it lists all the different species that occur within that area. And so if you click on any one of these, you can see that wildflowers and ferns, there are 84 different species of wildflowers and ferns. A lot of those you won't find easily anyplace else. Grasses and sedges, you can see there are 35 different species of just grasses and sedges. Who knew? But this is a really great one, birds. This is a checklist of all the birds that have been seen at various times at the site. And this diversity that we see is why it's important to restore intact ecosystems. You know, I'm feeling like a chopper ride. Fortunately, I have them on speed dial. Hello. Yes, this is Skyline 22398. Yes, I'd like to order a chopper to take me down to the Gray Cloud Dunes natural area. What do you mean it's been denied? This is Mr. Rafferty of Mr. Rafferty's Naturehood. What do you mean you've never heard of me? Come on, man. Can't you do me a solid here? Well, what do they expect me to do? You're kidding. Okay. Well, that didn't go as planned, but don't worry, we'll get there somehow. Well, you gotta do what you gotta do. To Gray Cloud Dunes natural area. Here we are at the edge of Gray Cloud Dunes Scientific and Natural Area. It's a nice pretty view towards the Mississippi River. It is 227 acres of restored prairie and oak savanna. These native blazing stars are great for the monarch migration. They are blooming at the end of the summer and the early part of the fall, right when the monarchs are migrating. Cool thing about the monarchs that you see at the end of the summer, they're the ones that are going to fly all the way to Mexico. Goodbye! Places where deer have bedded down. It looks like a little group of three, at least three. So remember, if you build it, they will come. There are 117 different birds that have been seen here, and there are probably more that just haven't been observed. Oh, one of the animals I'm hoping to see today, I probably won't, they're pretty shy, is the blue racer snake. And that is not real common, so it's one I'm looking forward to seeing. You can see restoration work is still going on here. This is an area where they've cleared vegetation, so either non-native or woody vegetation that they're going to replace with some native prairie vegetation. There's a nice little wetland at one end of the natural area, and it definitely adds to some of the biodiversity that you'll find here, adding species to both the amphibians, mammals, reptiles, and birds. Here's something that is found in these short grass prairies, gopher mounds. So the pocket gopher spends most of its time underground in the tunnels. They're safe from many predators down there, but snakes will still find them, and there are animals that are willing to go through the work of digging them up too. You can see they have great adaptations for life underground. Large claws in the front for digging. They'll also use their teeth for digging. And small ears and eyes that will help them protect those more sensitive organs. So I'm here at Otter Lake Elementary School, and I'm going to show you something really cool. A friend of mine, you may remember him as the beekeeper back in season 1, has converted basically a weedy lawn into a beautiful prairie. Let's take a look. So, Mr. Green.
Yes, Mr. Rafferty.
Why did you do this project?
Well, I taught 4th grade here at Otter Lake, and we were creating had opportunity to create some new curriculum, and I wanted to base the curriculum on pollination. And I know we had all this land out here that could be better use than what it was. As you mentioned, it was all unmaintained weeds, and I wanted to put in more of a natural prairie that would benefit pollinators.
Are there some plants that you want to point out that are particularly interesting? What's all the different kinds of grasses that you have out here?
Yeah, well, the two of the grasses that we mainly have are little blue stem and big blue stem. And you can see right here, all the grasses like this one here are all the little blue stem. You kind of see, it has kind of a blue tint to it. I think that's why it gets its name. This is a big blue stem, and you can see the turkey foot at the top here. It makes it kind of recognizable with the 3 or 4 sticking out, stems sticking out. And then if you look closer in the prairie, you're going to see some flowering plants, like over here. We have some bergamot or bee balm, and there's brown-eyed Susans and
An exciting trend in home landscaping is the use of native plants. There are a number of nurseries that specialize in providing native plants for both restoration projects and for the home. I found one down in Hastings. I'm here at Outback Nursery down by Hastings, which specializes in native plants. Some of these I recognize from Gray Clouds Dunes natural area. Everything you see here is native to Minnesota. You might be doing some planting around your home. I hope you considered planting native plants. Remember, those are the plants that co-evolved with the living community and will be the most beneficial for birds and mammals and insects. Well, that was a lot in one episode. I still had a good time, even though I didn't get my helicopter ride. In the meantime, I'll make my own fun. Have a beautiful day. Have a beautiful day. Have a beautiful day.
Have a beautiful day. Have a beautiful day. Have a beautiful day. Have a beautiful day.